All right, so I'm going to provide another video, audio talking through your remaining phases of your training manual to help you along in case you have questions. So let's start with this one right here, Training Manual Phase 4 only. This link will only be for you to submit only Phase 4. That's all I want for this one. Phase 4 is going to include a cost-benefit analysis, lesson plan, and a reference page. So let's talk about the cost benefit analysis. We have a full class devoted to safety economics. So we are not doing an in-depth analysis of a cost benefit analysis here. What I really want to see is your thought process and your evaluation to determine where costs come from when we look at training. When we're looking at the cost of a trainer, in-house employee versus contracting that out, we're looking at the cost of renting a room, even things like electricity. If you're having paper to give handouts to individuals, how much does it cost to have your employees in training versus doing the job that they have? So what I'm looking for is just kind of a rough estimate of a training cost benefit analysis. Looking at a budget for your training development. How long does it take you to develop training? How much does that cost to do? Think about your yearly wage. What does that translate to from an hourly perspective? So when you are conducting this training and you're developing it, how much of your salary is in doing that task? Thinking about delivery, how will you deliver this? Are you renting a place? Are you doing it in-house? Looking at all the expenses that you are going to need. So listing out a budget of, here is my budget for training. This training on my topic will cost approximately this. I want to look at the obvious cost and maybe not so obvious cost here. Lesson plan, there are examples on eCampus for those, but a lesson plan will include times, specific objectives. It will include any type of handouts, AV equipment that you may need, any type of videos. What do you need? This should be a document that you give a trainer and they are able to know exactly expectations of the training based on that lesson plan. And then references, at least 5 APA style format. This has to be its own separate page. 2 to 4 from peer-reviewed journals, at least 1 from a government organization, and then an optional reference from a reputable website. That is not Wikipedia. These are other actual reputable websites. So that makes up phase 4. So that will be phase 4. Only phase 4 is uploaded here. Training manual, phase 4 only. Next part, when we're looking at finishing up your training manual, is the training presentation itself. So as I've mentioned before, you need to create a training presentation that is an hour-long training on your topic. With that hour-long training, you as the trainer need to fill out the notes section of the PowerPoint. In the notes section, that's going to have your talking points. It will have notes. It will have data. It will have research. It will have trainer notes such as, demonstrate, hands-on demonstration with something could be in there. If you're wanting to do a hands-on demonstration at that slide, if you plan to show a video, what is that video? What discussion will you be leading? This is the guide for the trainer to know what to discuss and any prompts the trainer needs to be aware of. This must be included with your training presentation. Notes section is a big component of this. I recommend after you do your hour training presentation, saving as a PowerPoint, but then also saving it as a PDF. Do 1 slide per page and it will have the notes section printed off in the bottom. It'll be easier for you to submit that along with the rest of your manual when we get to it. So you have that hour-long training presentation. You are going to present at least 15 minutes of that training and record yourself doing that. So after you've created your presentation, record yourself presenting at least 15 minutes of that. It can be the first 15 minutes, middle 15 minutes. It could be the last 15 minutes. I leave that up to you. But within that 15 minutes, I want to see the PowerPoint, and I also want to see you incorporate at least 1 additional delivery method, whether it's a hands-on exercise, whether it's a group discussion, whether it's just something beyond PowerPoint that you incorporate into your training. I want to see that within the 15 minutes. You'll record that. I recommend uploading to YouTube and submitting the YouTube link on eCampus, so it's easier for me to read for that as opposed to directly uploading that on eCampus. As long as I can read it, either one will work, but I do recommend going the YouTube link. Another reason I recommend going the YouTube link is because you will need to share your presentations under the discussion boards for your classmates to see. So they'll get a chance to look at the training that you've presented. So when you go into discussion boards, you'll see a header that says presentation links. You will submit your links there for your students, your classmates to go and look at the training for that. So again, training presentation that's uploaded. In this upload, it will be the actual presentation and it will be the video of you presenting at least 15 minutes of the hour presentation that you've created. So with that link, moving on down here to peer reviews or peer evaluations, students will look at their peers and watch the training presentations that have been uploaded. When you click on this link, instructor presentation evaluation sheet, this is a form that you will fill out evaluating the videos that you watch. You need to conduct at least 5 peer evaluations, and those peer evaluations will be uploaded here for course points as well. So lastly, finishing out our course here, we do have the exam, but when we're talking about the manual, is submitting your completed manual. And that's this final link down here, final training manual completed. This is where you will combine your phase 1, updated with my notes, phase 2, updated per my feedback and notes, phase 3, updated with my notes, phase 4 that you've submitted elsewhere, but now you're combining it with phases 1, 2, 3. And then you're also going to include that presentation PowerPoint that we talked about just a few minutes ago, and any handouts, anything else that is part of your training manual. Everything you have done for your training manual will be combined into one document and uploaded here. Again, I recommend doing this as a PDF. eCampus sometimes doesn't like big documents that are not PDF, so I highly recommend going PDF with this final training manual. So submit that here. With that, with everything that you've done, also be sure to include a title page, table of contents, that reference page, that's in phase 4, and also have your pages numbered. This should be an off-the-shelf document when you are done that you could give to your company, change out company name, and it is good to go based on your topic. If you have any questions about phase 4, submitting and finishing up your manual, please reach out to me. I am happy to help. Otherwise, hope you are enjoying the class and wrapping everything up. Check your due dates. Click on each link to check your due dates, because with those, there are different aspects. They're all due next week. I don't have anything due this weekend so that you would go into next week. Remember, class is over next Friday on, we're ending next Friday, so everything is definitely wrapping up. So please check the link for due dates for each of those components and get those evaluations. I do know the peer evaluations are due later than the video, so you at least have an extra day to have time to evaluate everything. Again, if you have questions, feel free to reach out, and hope you've enjoyed this portion of the class.